So for those of you who have followed the channel and kind of know me, you'll know I've had this vehicle a lot longer than I anticipated. I think I've had it now about 7 or 8 months. Bought it as a package deal, bought it from really a buddy of Eddie's and kind of a buddy of mine, does cars, has a few vehicles, made me a package deal on this on a 33 Ford Tudor, and the 33 has already went to another home. I did okay on that, I broke even, but really when I was doing this package deal, I was thinking, okay, for both vehicles, this is not a bad price, and I think I can probably make $4,000 or $5,000 between the two vehicles. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Actually, right now with what I'm gonna ask for this vehicle, and yes, it is for sale, in case I didn't allude to that, basically just what I'm gonna ask for this vehicle, I'm already $10,000 in the hole, really, if I figure out the time and parts and everything like that, but it is what it is, live and learn. I'm the type of person that I can't let a vehicle go unless I know that it is right or as close to right as I can possibly get it. And then whatever needs to be fixed, I will disclose as I will on this vehicle. But this vehicle now is a nice running, driving vehicle. So what we have here is a 1970 Nova. It's a 350 car. It's a cruiser car. It's not a hot rod. It's not fast. It's not built up. It doesn't have all state-of-the-art suspension or anything like that. It's pretty much factory suspension, factory drum brakes. But what we have done with the vehicle, I should actually start with what the previous owner did with the vehicle and then where we took it up. This vehicle has new paint. Paint job is very nice. New interior. It's got a Crate 350. I don't know if it was rebuilt or how fresh it is or whatever, but it runs very nice. It looks good. We've had the top end off and taken a look at it and everything looks good there. Rebuilt turbo 350 transmission, rims, tires are new. It's really a nice car. It's a nice driving car. Since we got it, we've done, let's see, alternator, battery, tune-up, flex plate, sending unit. I know that there's other stuff that's been done to this car as well, just to get it up and running and driving well. Did the brakes, I don't know if I mentioned that, but did the brakes, but they are four-wheel drum, manual drum brakes, so it takes a lot of leg to stop it. The smart move would be to put disc brakes under the front of it, maybe in a power booster, and really get a lot more braking system out of it. I think that's probably something that someone else can do. I'm not going to do it personally. It does stop just fine. I do notice it does have a little bit of a shake, and the harder you brake, the more you notice it, between like 40 and 30 slowing down. But it's gotten better. As I've driven the car, it's gotten better, and I plan on driving the car a little bit more before I put it up for sale. So I think that'll smooth out of it. Like I said, someone's probably going to end up upgrading the brakes anyway, so I don't think that's really an issue. And the only other thing that does not work on this car is the front turn signals. Haven't been able to get those to work. It just needs some wiring, someone who's willing to take the time and spend some time with it. But it's a nice car. So I'm going to walk you guys around it right now, talk a little bit more about the car, show you under the hood, take it for a little drive. Yes, this is more of a sales video than it is like a video on the car, because I know for a fact I do want to sell this car. Okay, so starting at the front, you know, honestly, this is not a color I would choose, not a color combination I would choose, but it has grown on me. It's been sitting in the shop the past week or so. I've actually been able to see it, not being over at the workshop. It has grown on me quite a bit, and it is a clean car. Whoever did the paint job did a nice job, but there's like little things, like you can't even really see it with the camera, but a little area right here, I feel like maybe sanded it down a little bit too far and cleared over it. There's a couple areas like that, and we'll go around this way. You know, the chrome is good. The gaps are okay. They're not great, I'm not gonna lie, but it shows well. Overall, it's a nice car. Like I said, nice paint. I don't know if there was a mirror here, but there are holes for a mirror. So, you know, it's kind of like a Yanko inspired, I guess, paint scheme. Got the SS badges. And let me pop the hood here really quick. If I can find it. There it is. Very clean looking little 350, nothing extravagant, nothing over the top or anything like that, just nice. It's got headers, it's got intake, it's got a 4-barrel carb, and it runs good, it sounds good. The guy I got it off of told me it was like a 350 horse 350, and yeah, I'd say it's probably true. It's got a fairly tall gear in the back end, so it's not great off the line, but it cruises very nicely, and it moves pretty good when you really get into it. You did the door panels, the seat, it is a bench seat, column shift. Got the auxiliary gauges there. I mean, headliner's in good shape, back seat and everything like that. Like I said, he had just done the vehicle, I think back in 2020, and then it just kind of sat. So yeah, the vehicle had set and he really hadn't finished it. He had polished it off. There were some things that were kind of a little hinky that were done. We decided that we'd get in and do a little bit more in detail. Because like I said, when I sell a car, I want to make sure that it is in good shape and that it's going to be reliable for the next owner. And this vehicle is really there. It's a good driver, it's a good cruiser. It cruises down the freeway very comfortably. As I said, it's got a fairly tall rear gear, so it cruises nicely, comfortably. It still sounds good, still looks good. Wouldn't be embarrassed to take it to a Cars and Coffee or car show and show very well. It looks good, but you know, if someone wants to take it to the next level, wants to put those disc brakes under the front, which I would recommend. If you wanted to pump the motor up a little bit more, or maybe put a posi in the rear end, lower the gearing a little bit, you definitely get a lot more off bottom end, and this thing would actually be fairly impressive, even the way it is. I mean, when you really step into it, get that accelerator to the floor and get full throttle out of it, it moves. It does. It's not slow. It's definitely not the slowest vehicle I've ever had, or not the slowest vehicle in my stable, but you know, it's not crazy fast either because it is a taller rear gear. So with that being said, what else can I say about the car other than let's just hop in it, take it for a little spin. I'll take you guys around the block and you can see how it runs and drives and everything like that, and bring it back here. I will talk price and I will talk about my plans for selling it. All right, so one thing I will say about this vehicle, even when I got it, when I first got it, it wasn't running up to its full potential. It always fired right up. I mean, hit the key, and there you go. Fires right up. I suspect it probably has Flowmasters on it, kind of reminiscent of Flowmasters, but walk around it real quick. Up a little bit. You do get a little bit of the exhaust note in here, but once you cruise, it's nice. One other thing I forgot to mention, that wing window, yeah, the little tab is missing. I don't have one, so you get a little bit of that whistle through that. Very easy fix. Parts are readily available for this generation of Nova, but I mean, we're cruising like 50 right now, 45, 50, and it just hums. Now one thing, the generator light stays on, I don't know why. It charges just fine, there's no problem there. The car drives really nice. It holds the road really nicely. And like I said, it hums. It does, it hums really, really good. Said the brakes are what I would improve upon. They stop you, there's no problem with stopping you, they're gonna stop you, but you just feel like you got to use a lot more pedal, a lot more leg, because they're manual drum brakes. I mean, right there we're at 60 and I wasn't getting on it, so it's not a bad little cruiser. Definitely make a difference with that wing window fixed. The whistling's kind of annoying, but you know, like, it's little things. Like another thing, I don't think the door locks inside here on the door are actually hooked up, so they're not working. But you know, for me, it wouldn't bother me. I don't take a vehicle anywhere where I'd have to lock it, but it'd be an easy fix. Nothing to it. I can tell you how tall gear it is. Like, theirs just dropping in very comfortably to its last gear at like 45. So good, and I wasn't getting all the way into it. One thing I've noticed, it's like if you really press on the accelerator hard, you do get a lot more, but you've got to get kind of past the carpet. The carpet's kind of keeping it from really getting full throttle. So I think maybe a little bit of tweaking and adjustment there, you would get more out of it. But even with that tall gear, it moves just fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a good little cruiser. So, all right, let me get the gate open and I'll get this thing back in the shop and I'll talk a little bit more about it in detail. So yeah, it just occurred to me when I was driving it, just a couple times I braked it, just went around the block, but I didn't feel that shimmy that I was talking about. So I really think with a little driving, it would smooth itself out, and it brakes just fine. That's not a question. I think once they get broken in, they'll be even better, but it's not a question of that. I just think disc brakes are a little safer. You're going to get a little bit more pedal out of it, not have to put quite as much leg power into it. I think disc brakes would be a good improvement on this vehicle, and then, like I said, get the signals working, the front signals working, and you have yourself a really nice little car, a nice little cruiser. Cruiser you could take back and forth to work if you wanted to, take it on a little trip if you wanted to, drive wherever, do whatever. Everything is good on it, I mean, as far as that goes. So it doesn't need a lot is what I'm saying. And yeah, I know it sounds like a sales pitch because I do want to sell it. You know, initially when I got this car, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to ask probably like mid to high 20s, try to land right around mid 20s and be good with it. As time went by, that price kind of dropped down, and I'm not planning on actually listing it for sale probably till after the holidays, maybe after the first of the year. I just think that everybody needs to get through the holidays. Now is not probably the best time in the world, but when I put it up for sale, I'm going to ask 19 for it. I want to stay under 20. I'm looking for a fairly quick sale, and I think it should go pretty quickly at that. I've seen a lot of other Novas that aren't nearly as nice, asking a lot more. Now, of course, what people are asking what they're selling for is a different story. But, you know, I mean, I've got time. I don't need to sell it, but I would like to go ahead and get rid of it. I'd like to move it on. A little bit of this frustration just because it's taken so much longer than I expected to get this thing up where I wanted it to be before I would let it go. But it's a nice car, and it's going to make a nice car for somebody. And really, it's, you know, it's a clean slate, but you've got the expensive stuff, the paint job, the interior, the drivetrain, everything like that. You can certainly add to the drivetrain if you wanted to make this motor and built it up a little bit more. You could certainly get a lot more horsepower out of it. Like I said, lower gear in the rear end, a posi, disc brakes all the way around if you want to. It's really kind of a clean slate in that respect, but the expensive stuff's been done. Guaranteed you couldn't buy one, paint it, interior, and everything like that, and get a running driving car for anywhere near what I'm asking for this car. So I think 19's fair, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm going to upload this video very soon, probably within like 24 hours of me shooting it, and then it'll be here. If someone's interested, they can hit me up and we can talk about it. If not, more than likely it'll be after the first year. I'll put it up probably on Marketplace, maybe Craigslist, and see if I can go ahead and sell it and just move on. Because I still have the GTO, the 06 GTO over there that I do want to get sold. I just haven't marketed it yet. I'm not quite ready to sell that one yet. A couple things I want to do to it. But once I'm ready, that one's going to go too. And that'll be it. So what do you guys think? It is a cool car. Like I said, the longer it has been in my shop, the more I look at it on a day-to-day basis, I realize it's a nice car. It shows nice, it shines nice, it paints nice, the interior's nice. It is. It's kind of a cool car, and this is a very popular body style in Nova. You know? I can honestly remember when I was in high school, there was a guy maybe a few miles from me, had a canary yellow one. I don't know what year, but same body style. And I remember thinking, man, that was just the coolest car. I really like that car. And then another guy I went to school with, he ended up buying it and seeing that thing cruising every day, and it sounded kind of the same, the deep rumble, everything like that. I don't know how fast it was. I don't know what the engine was. I don't know any specifics about it, but I just always remember thinking that was a really, really cool car, really cool body style, and I wanted that body style Nova back then. And it is. It's a nice driving, comfortable car. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed. Someone's going to get a really cool car. With that being said, I'm going to end the video. As always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My Instagram is going to be in that description below. And as always, guys, God bless. Take care. Have an absolutely amazing day.